day, good evening. Thanks for everyone coming out. Halito, Oseo, how's everyone doing? This evening, we have a special treat coming from a Touchiness Assembly. I'm your host, Coach, from the Cab, Coach and Bone Show. Shout out to LJ Free, Golden Moon, Macadon, Doodoo Vision, Dot, Ron Redbird, and everyone else. We're going to make this sweet. We're going to do this a little different. So I want to make sure that everyone can hear. We have the brother. Let me turn this up so I make sure everyone can hear him. We have the brother Redman, Chief Redman, that is, from the Coosa Nation. He's going to come on and give you a little introduction to who they are, what they're about. I know you all hear me all the time. Can everyone hear me? Let me make sure everyone can hear me real quick. Testing. Okay, I can hear. All right, I hear. Let me see now. Let me turn this up. Okay. All right, let's see. They said low volume, can't hear you. Yeah, it is low. Give me a second. Let me turn it up. Let's see what we got going on. Testing. What about now? Is that better?
Better. You can speak a little louder, though.
Speak a little louder. What's up, no sellout? I'm trying to turn it up loud. Yeah, you're loud. I can hear you now. All right. I should have got up and closed that back room. Chief, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you very well.
All right. Can you all hear the chief very well? I want to make sure everyone can hear you.
It might be me, Coach.
Huh?
I said it might be me. Let me reset everything from on my end.
Okay. Let me see. Yeah, they said they can hear you. All right, Chief. You got the floor. Introduce yourself. Let them know who you are. And do your thing.
All right. Yes. Thank you, brother. And everyone else that's in attendance. Thank y'all for coming out. My name is Principal Chief Redman. That's Cato Hononua. My English name is Lamar Perryman. We are basically in the midst of refounding our government here. That has already been refounded. So let me just move into a basic introduction here. We call ourselves the Coosa in the Coosa Nation of North America, USA, for one reason. North America is two divisions. You have Canada and you have the USA. So we put the USA behind our name to show that we're in that part of North America that's known as the United States of America. Number one. Number two, we use the USA behind our name to show that ourselves, the Coosa Nation, and the indigenous aboriginals here, both us and the United States, we are both domiciled in the same homeland, which is our ethnic homeland and territory. That's a brief description of why we use the name Coosa Nation of North America, USA.
1 second, y'all. Hold on, Chief. Chief, okay. 1 second. Chief, 1 second. 1 second, Chief. Let me fix this where they can hear you a little bit better.
Okay.
I've been trying to dig this up.
Move that. Move it up the way.
All right. Now, try now, Chief. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. You didn't need me to repeat what I said before?
No, they heard you. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, that's basically where we began at with our traditional and cultural name. The next thing I want to address is origins. because everybody, whether they're a nationality or society, an individual, a person, a clan, a group, a tribe, a race, a family, a nation, a group, or organization, everybody has what's called origins, roots, to be exact. We call ourselves the Coosa Nation of North America, USA, as I explained before, because our oldest ancestors, that is how they refer to themselves. And this is, generally speaking, throughout the southern USA, a region extending from Virginia over to Texas, back over to Florida, and even including island nations, from the Atlantic Isles to Puerto Rico, and even including present-day Oklahoma, since we know that we were there long before the removal. One of the reasons that we choose the name Coosa was not only through academic and intellectual research, but through being inspired as well. You know, we have to give the ancestor spirits the great credit and all the glory for revealing that, because we have so many different groups and factions. But if you take the history of about 37 different groups, what we now today call tribal groups throughout the South, and you look at their origins, and they will all tell you that they descended from about 6 towns. Some of them say 4 towns, but the more full origin stories, they say about 6 towns, which we know is Tukabachi, Casita, you have Tuscaloosa, you have Okamoki, which is where we're at, you have Coweta, and then you have another town over in Mississippi, and right now I forget the name of that one, but those are the 6 towns that we descend from. In all of the tribal cultures that we have inherited, you will find everyone saying that our mother clan, our mother tribe, our mother group, our mother nation, our mother organization, our mother school, our mother church, our mother mosque, I don't care what terms you put it in. I don't like using foreign terms, so, but just for understanding, whatever terms that you put it in, you'll find that they all trace themselves back to the origination of people that's Coosa. And that's how they identified nationally speaking. That was their nationality, the Anti-Coosa. In the regions that we're discussing here, the southern USA, that was their national territory. And that's recognized by natives and foreigners, as well as political people, other polities, even long before the colonial era began, or at least the colonial era that we're used to, now the European colonial expansion. And so you can find this among all of the tribes, even those that are not mentioned today, like the Gwale, the Tamaqua, the Appalachee. You can find it among the Catawbas. You have the Southern Quapaw. You have the Southern Kansas Indians. You have the Southern Blackfeet. Of course, you have Southern Cherokee. You have Southern Crow. So you have a lot of groups too that that identified in or mixed in with the Coosa and also identified as the Coosa. You know, we know that the Iroquois and those people to the west, those Indian brothers and sisters, they had their own territories. So we basically try to explain this thing from the standpoint of our political standing as well as what our social and ethnic standing is. So the tribal names that we use today, we as Coosa, we have to tell everybody we are a multi-tribal nation, and we are an ethnic group of people, better known as the Aborigines of Southern USA, or American Aborigines. So that is a brief description of the Cousas. And if anyone look at our origin stories, either from the Cherokee or the other Muskogees, you will see that all of our ancestors refer to us as the Anti-Coosa. Now, those in the west of the southern states, their region that's now referred to as the Southwest, they used to term the Alabama's Coushatta. but generally speaking, all of the people and all of the clans, bands, tribes, groups, villages, pueblos, associations, organizations, all of them generally identified across the board that their native nationality as Coosa or Anni-Coosa. So that is the at least the most simplest explanation of Coosa. When we talk about things in terms of anthropology and archaeology and all, and I'm putting together a book on that as well. I know for a fact that I can trace it back through my own researches and that of unprejudiced, unbiased, and indiscriminate scholars. I can trace it back to at least 28,000 BC, or at least 30,000 years ago. Now, of course, there are other scholars who say that we have existed here far longer than that, and they provide evidences, of the inhabitation of America well over 50,000 years ago. And I do not dispute them. I actually agree with them. But in terms of the Coosa as a social political organization, I think it's fair to say that it is at least about 28,000. Well, actually, 28,000 BC, which would be 30,000 years ago. So that is the reason why we refer to ourselves as the Anni-Coosa. It's the oldest name that our ancestors know of, and the oldest name that has descended down to us. And everyone is still free now to do their own research. So you just don't take anyone's word, And I would think that the best place to start would be look up the origins of the particular clan, tribe, band, or group that you come from, and look at the oldest records and the oldest texts. And it doesn't matter where you get them from. You can get them from the library. You can get them online. You can get them from other Black Indian tribes, as we're called. You can get them from the tribes and their histories in Oklahoma or elsewhere. As long as the information matches and is good, and you have a good idea and a good knowledge of whom is being talked about and what is being talked about, you can find the truth of what I'm saying as far as the origins are concerned. And that's all I have to say on that issue there, for right now.
I got you.
On the matter of modern day government, we have instituted a matriarchal, matrilineal style of government, and that's for balance. It does not mean that we have any gender issues. We're not putting males above the females. We're not putting females above the males. That's done solely for balance, and not only just in relations. We're not just talking about personal relations, but I mean throughout society. And there's education, healthcare, banking, finance, culture. All of the things that it takes to maintain a nation and sustain a people for long-term periods of time. So we have a governmental model based on that. We have an executive council, legislative council. We also have a wives elder council and some youth councils. These things we're, actually working on right now. But the business of government has always been up and running for the last 2 years or so. So that has never ceased, even in times of emergencies. That business must go on, because it's really not a personal thing or a social thing. It's not like we're not like normal people. We are, people have their personal responsibilities. You have responsibilities to your family, and you have obligations and all. But at the same time, when we're running the business of a government, that's 24/7. So we try to reflect that and be accessible to our citizens when they need us, and at the times they need us. While we're dealing with the problems that we have encountered with people in this society here. Some certain social and some certain political circles and all. But again, the business of government never stops. And that's basically where we're at right now. We're moving into the other areas of government, finance and economics, education, which is part of the culture, housing, healthcare, all of the things that it takes for us to actually use the existing system as well as our ancient system, and and blend the two, so that we can treat the people like we know we need to be treated. We have a lot to learn from biology and sociology. We're in somewhat of an evolutionary period now. I think you see that's happening all over the world. We don't have to just look at Mexico and Venezuela or Palestine or South America or Australia or China or anywhere else on the Asian continent. I think we can see that very clear and very well right here in the United States of America, or Indian country, or Indian territory, as I call it. So that's basically where we're at right now. We do have a registration program. Our chiefess of National Administration, she runs that. She has a staff, and they take applications and all. We use an ethnic code to identify ourselves by. We don't use religions, races, colorism, slavery, and all of that. We stand against those things, of course. We have to address them, but it's not something that we base our own programs on, because they are not original to our own societies, our own traditional and aboriginal societies, the historic aboriginals. I think is the term that the scientists and the classical scientists use. So that is my brief introduction there to the work of the Coosa. If anyone has any questions, I will be glad to answer them to the best of my abilities.
Thanks a lot, man. You came out and gave them the introduction. Anyone able to can go back and rewind. If anyone had a hard time hearing him, that's because he's talking through the phone. Let me see if there was any questions I needed to ask you, because I know we was going to cut this short. But we had, let me see right here. I got, hold on right quick. Make sure any questions out here before you hang up the phone. I know we said 30 minutes. You got about 4 minutes. Trying to get them on real quick, see if anybody got any questions. But yeah, thank you for coming out, man. You every time I talk to you, you go in. But what's the relations that you all have? Do you have any relations, like federal? Are you federally recognized, or?
Well, yes, we are. In that sense, we go back to originalism. We are what America has generally called, or Caucasian America has called us, persons of color, and also American Indians of color. And that's something that you not only see in their society, their social writings, their historical writings, but you also see that in their legal codes.
Okay.
You see, so we have to understand recognition. There's about 6 different there are about 6 different types of recognition, and 6 different meanings to the term recognition. So I'll begin with the first one. The first one is that you're recognized when you can have a state-to-state relationship with a city, a county, or a state, or with the federal government, or with any of their departments and agencies.
All right. No.
That's the first one. Now, we fall under all other 6 of them, which is that we are already recognized as ethnological Indians.
Gotcha.
And we were recognized negatively by having arbitrary and capricious names put upon us, such as colors, reds, browns, yellows, blacks, mulattoes, Negroes.
Chief.
Yes.
I know you're a GOAT, but I got like 3 little questions, probably 4. So I want you to kind of answer them real quick for me, all right?
Yes.
All right. Who do Coosa represent?
Coosa represents those who trace their ancestries from the American Indians of the southern United States. And again, put it in the Principal Chief's word, because she's not far from here anyway, but she said the southeastern clans.
Got you. All right, that's good. All right. What is your stance on sovereign citizenship? And do you believe that is valuable option, or do you believe genealogy is the best way to tie yourself to the land?
Well, I would say that genealogy is the best way to tie yourself to the land, because with genealogy you go by an ethnic code.
So it's better than going under a sovereign citizenship.
Well, yes. The thing with sovereign citizenship, for instance, like the Coosa, we are American nationals. We are Native American Aborigines, better known as American Indians of color. However, we are members of a sovereign nation.
Got you. Got you.
We are not individualized sovereign citizens running around saying we can do what we want to do.
That's right. All right.
You see? Right.
And what's the difference between tribe and nationality?
Well, a tribe is a group of peoples in a certain region, mostly a sub-region. And for instance, let's use an example here. Like we have some of the names that have descended down to us today. You know, we have like the Seminole. We have the Tallahassee. That's where the term Tallahassee, Tupelo, Tulsa, Oklahoma, they all arise from that word there. So we know that the Tallahasseans, they were a group of people that was a tribe, and they were very good in their territories in what was it? I think it's northeast central Florida. But we know that they were part of a larger group known as the Muskogees, you see. And that larger group of Muskogees also had other different groups in it. And we even know that the Seminole group now is older than the name Seminole. You know, yeah, there's been a lot of research done in that area that's very good. You know, it's on point. So a tribe basically is a subunit of a larger nation state.
Gotcha.
And what happens is that when we identify by so many tribes, we actually are trading in our national identity for a more localized one. And as the Coosa, we're not saying you can't have both, but we've come to a time now where we need to put one or the other of them first. And so as the Coosa, we choose to put the nationality, you know, the national identification first. And you can still be who you are. You know, for instance, like we have, like myself, and the Principal Chiefs now. She has Rappahannock blood, Lumbee, Powertown, Cherokee, Muskogee, Catawba. So she has a lot of bloodlines. So it would be, you know, if she wanted to just identify herself as one of them, you know, she could do that, but she'd be excluding about 6 or 7 other ones. You see what I'm saying? So when we say the Coosa, we understand that includes all of them. So we can give each one their purpose, you see.
Someone said relatives plus families equal tribes. Member tribes make nations.
That's a good description there. That's a good description there. And in fact, that's how we describe our peoples, as members and citizens. You know, that's one of the ways that you know we connect with our people, our members and our citizens, and let them know that we are communal first. You know, because it takes these communities to make the clans, to make the bands that makes the tribes, that makes up the nation. You know, and its organizations, and all of the different areas of it. So yes, that's a very That's a very, very, very good point, truth, and it's a model as well. Need to give credit to whoever said that. Mr. Coach. Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah, it's good. That's awesome. So, you want to say anything before we leave? Because I want to make sure everybody can go back and get what you said. And are you coming back to visit us?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm going to. I'll get up there to see you soon. I have to. On questions like that, because I'm working with so many people right here. That's actually working, not just for ourselves, working for the good of everybody.
I know
And
you work.
well, yeah, right. So what I would do, I got my brother here, Michael Tate. We call him KL, Chief KL. You met him, the
Right.
Pine Chief. So I will, he can best be the one that puts everybody on the same page concerning our business, because he knows what I'm doing and when I'm doing it, and when I have the free time to really talk with the people, and because there may be some times that he may even want me to, to stay on the show a little bit longer than 30 minutes. But like tonight, he told me we need to just have an introduction, and I agree with that.
That's on point. That's on point. You on
Yeah.
point?
Okay. All right then. So here he goes, and because I'm actually on his phone, Coach, because my phone had died and it was on the charger. So I'm on his phone. So he goes, and everyone who did attend, be blessed. And if you have questions, ask them, and we'll be talking soon. So this is not the last time, by no means. There will be a lot of other times.
Man, thank you a lot for coming out.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it, Chief.
All right.
All right, peace.
I'm gonna call you back in about 2-3 minutes.
You say you're gonna call me back?
Would that be good, or can we discuss it now?
Give me 5 minutes. I'm gonna say my piece to everybody, and you can call me on back.
Okay, all right, that's cool. I'll give you 5
All right,
minutes.
thanks a lot.
All right.
All right. Yeah, thanks to you all for coming out. Yeah, he answered a lot of lingering questions. That's why we try to keep it short. Well, I wish you would have asked that before he left, because he sure would have answered it for you. He would have answered it for you. Everyone had a chance to answer all their questions. We just kept it short. So thank you all for coming out again. Y'all know we got the early morning. Catch a cab. Don't be late. We're going to be coming through making a lot of noise. It's Tuesday. You already know what it is. I ain't trying to yell at nobody in the morning, but I will. Y'all know I will. So, before I go, hey! I'm out of there. Peace.